Thanks for the interview. My name's Dan Hodgkiss. I'm a PhD student at the University of Birmingham, just going into my final year. So I did my undergrad at the University of Birmingham, and as I was finishing, my now supervisor, Dr. Tom Nightingale, recently joined, and I was quite intrigued by the work he was doing in spinal research, and the opportunity to come up to do a PhD studentship with him, and sort of had conversations with him on the side, and then things just rolled on from there. There's been no looking back really. It's just really excited to keep working. So my PhD is centred around how we can not restore, perhaps reactivate or improve autonomic control in individuals with spinal cord injury. So individuals with higher neurological levels of injury typically have a disconnect between the cardiovascular centres in the brain and the blood vessels in the lower body or below the lesion, which means that at rest and during perhaps sit-up orthostatic challenges or during exercise, blood pressure is typically lower because blood is pooling in the lower body. That leads to less blood getting back to the heart and less blood being pumped up around the body, and so these individuals are typically hypotensive, so low blood pressure. And during exercise, it means that they don't get as much of the exercise or cardiovascular response as what me or you would get when we exercise. So they have limited peak heart rates, less catecholamine circulating around the body, less cardiac contractility. And so this leads to reductions in exercise performance or capacity in comparison to non-injured individuals. And so the idea is, people have shown that using spinal cord stimulation, either epidurally, so invasive, or transcutaneously, non-invasive, just using electrodes placed on the skin surface, can reactivate some of those specific neurons that are responsible for helping with hemodynamic cardiovascular control. So if we can augment blood pressure prior to exercise and help with the blood that's being returned back to the heart, so venous return, can we also then improve stroke volume, so the amount of blood that's coming out of the heart each beat? Can that then help with exercise performance? So having this spinal cord stimulation on during exercise, can that help improve their performance, their perceptions of how they're feeling during exercise? Are they finding it easier? And then how that can translate to perhaps using it in the community in the future. So if they want to go out and exercise just around a wheel around a park or something, could they put spinal cord stimulation on so they can just have a better time essentially, but also they're reaping greater rewards because their cardiovascular system is working to a better capacity than what it would be without. So we've recently published a study that people can have a look at online, called the ergogenic effects of spinal cord stimulation in individuals with spinal cord injury. And so we found that there's been comparable results in improving exercise performance with that invasive epidural form of spinal cord stimulation and non-invasive transcutaneous spinal cord stimulation. So we found that in 2 individuals with spinal cord injury where we had this non-invasive transcutaneous spinal cord stimulation on, when we modulated those sort of parameters of the stimulation, so we did this mapping session whereby we tried to work out what parameters were best to improve their cardiovascular control. When we used those during exercise, they went to exhaustion up to 19 minutes longer with the stimulation on. So imagine exercising to complete exhaustion, all you've got, and then you get given this strategy whereby you can go 19 minutes longer to exhaustion. That's quite a huge improvement. And so we're now building on those findings in a clinical trial at the University of Birmingham, so we're calling that the StimX SCI trial. So we're trying to recruit more individuals to take part in that, where we're using just transcutaneous spinal cord stimulation to try and, at rest, improve their autonomic cardiovascular control. So can we improve responses to a series of challenges that we're testing their autonomic function? So things such as a cold pressor test, where we put their hand and foot into cold water and look at the responses to that. We do a sit-up test, where we get participants to sit up, and typically blood pressure would drop quite rapidly within the first 3 minutes because that blood's fluid in the legs. But can we stop that from happening with the stimulation on? And we're finding some nice results coming from that. And so characterising those responses at rest, and then having these individuals exercise to exhaustion, having that optimised stimulation on again, and we're finding some pretty nice results where we're improving their feeling during exercise, so they're rating that we're finding this like so much easier with the stimulation on compared to without, and just having a better response. So I've been to the last 2 network meetings, and it's been fascinating to hear talks on what research is going on in not only my sort of niche area, but also other areas in spinal cord injury research. And this network meeting specifically has been a section on autonomic function, and so I was really excited to see the lineup of speakers that have come to do some talks, and it's been great to listen to their findings and speak to them afterwards. So I had a poster on one of the studies that's in my PhD, and being able to have those discussions with those people about what I found, and then how we can improve that going forward. Is there anything else that we can look into to try and improve the lives of people with spinal cord injury? It's essentially why I'm here. That's what we want to do. I think it's a really exciting time for research in spinal cord injury. There's a lot of exciting findings coming out with neuromodulation, how that could be taken into the community. And just from a UK perspective, we're trying to build a bit of a strong SCI community at the University of Birmingham now. And if people are interested in coming and taking part in trials that we have running there, then I urge people to get in touch with us.